This presentation is part of the Living Sustainably Fox Valley video series, a collaboration of ECO's Fox Valley, Wisconsin, the Town of Menasha Sustainability Committee, and SCA Tissue. Hello, I'm Linda Stoll, and today I'm going to talk about stormwater management and the impact of what we do on the land has on water quality. Have you ever seen low plastic fences around construction sites and wondered what they were for? Why has your community had to dig detention ponds? And why do you now have to pay a stormwater utility fee? And is there anything that you can do to keep these fees from increasing? I'll try to answer these questions and more in this video. Many people believe that water pollution comes from point sources. Point sources are businesses and industries that discharge used water directly to a lake or stream using some type of pipe or culvert. This is a point source because we can identify the exact location that the water comes from. However, according to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency and the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, polluted runoff or non-point pollution is the greater problem in the Fox River and Lake Winnebago system. Polluted runoff or non-point pollution occurs when precipitation from rain or snowmelt flows over the ground. Impervious surfaces like buildings, driveways, sidewalks, and streets prevent stormwater from naturally soaking into the ground. Stormwater can pick up debris, chemicals, dirt, and other pollutants and flow into a storm sewer system that drains directly to a lake, stream, river, or wetland. Many people think that stormwater goes to the sewage treatment plant, when in fact, anything that enters a storm sewer system is discharged untreated into the lakes and rivers we use for recreation, fishing, or drinking. If we are going to restore and protect our water, we need to understand how what we do on the land directly impacts water quality and also quantity. A stream or river under natural conditions has a variety of trees, shrubs, and plants growing along the shore. The shoreline bends and curves. Sometimes the water moves quickly and other times more slowly. There are shallows and deep areas. Rain that falls on the ground can easily soak in and drain back into the system. An urban stream is surrounded by hard surfaces and little vegetation. There is often mowed lawn right to water's edge. The waterway has been straightened and the shoreline may be lined with rocks or some type of wall. There is little variety in depth or flow, and water often drains rapidly or may pool with little infiltration. One of the ways of looking at the impact of development is to measure the amount of impervious land cover and its impact on how water flows over and through the ground. Impervious cover is defined as the sum of all hard surfaces within a watershed, including rooftops, parking lots, streets, sidewalks, driveways, and any surfaces that do not allow water to soak into the ground. In a natural setting, approximately 50% of the rainfall soaks into the ground and 10% runs off. In an urban setting, the numbers are almost reversed. Another way we can measure the impact of this change in water flow is to look at the amount of water in a stream over time. In this slide, the solid line represents water flow in a natural setting during large and small storms and dry periods. This line shows a higher baseline with lower and rounder peaks during a storm. The dotted line shows the change in water flow after development. Storms result in more water volume and a higher rate of flow. After the storms, water levels quickly return to a much lower level than what naturally occurs. The combination of increased peak flows and increased volume also impacts the floodplain. The floodplain is the wider channel outside the regular channel that accommodates large storm events. The top photo represents a pre-development river channel. In a post-development situation, the bottom photo, Increased upstream impervious cover and increased peak discharges, like I showed on the previous graph, cause the floodplain to widen and increase vertically, subjecting more homes, properties, and people to the risks of flooding. The houses circled in red were originally built outside the floodplain. As a result of development, these houses are now at risk from floodwaters, and the owners may have the added expense of flood insurance. Summer flows are low or non-existent. Development also impacts water quality. Nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus are substances needed for growth, but elevated levels due to water runoff can cause a health hazard in drinking water and stimulate excessive aquatic plant growth, something we often see on Lake Winnebago and the Lower Fox River. Stormwater runoff also has very high levels of bacteria. Generally speaking, urban stormwater cannot meet standards for drinking water, shellfish collection, or sometimes even water contact recreation, resulting in the closure of beaches. Development can also increase sediment. Sediment is eroded soil or sand which smothers aquatic habitat, carries pollutants, and reduces water clarity. Runoff can pick up toxic contaminants and debris. Toxic contaminants are compounds like heavy metals and pesticides that can threaten the health of both aquatic and human life and are often resistant to breakdown. Antifreeze and chemicals that drip from automobiles are additional examples. Debris includes plastics and other trash that threaten aquatic life and detract from recreational and aesthetic values. Loss of shoreline vegetation can create thermal stress, which is an elevation in water temperature that can harm native species while helping non-native species to spread. Streams that dry up as a result of changes in water flow or become too cloudy because of increasing amounts of sediment can result in loss of fish, frogs, and other aquatic life. Studies of healthy, more natural streams found a great diversity of insects and fish, as shown by the left side of the photo. Urban streams, the samples on the right, had fewer species of both and an increase of more undesirable species as well as increases of fish die-off. Various levels of government have recognized the impact of polluted runoff and have developed regulations to improve and protect our waterways. The Environmental Protection Agency's Phase 2 stormwater regulations have had a big impact on how Fox City's communities manage stormwater. To meet these stormwater regulations, communities have had to develop construction site, such as plastic fences we often see, and post-construction site runoff controls. Create a public information and education program, such as notices and community newsletters. Develop a plan to manage leaf and grass clippings. Require nutrient management plans for fertilized areas over 5 acres. Detect and eliminate illicit stormwater discharges, and meet sediment reduction goals. In order to cover these costs of these strategies, most communities have created stormwater utilities. These charges often appear on your utility bills. What can your community do to meet regulation requirements and improve water quality? General maintenance practices such as street sweeping and vacuuming help to remove sand and pollutants from roads and parking lots before they get washed into our storm drains and waterways. Routine cleaning of catch basins can further remove those pollutants before they find their ways to our waters. Communities can encourage the use of more porous pavements and promote water infiltration. Stormwater detention ponds and other types of water retention areas capture runoff and slow its movement so sediment can settle out and water can soak into the ground. Communities can encourage delayed roof runoff rates through installation of roof restrictors and green roofs. What can individuals do to help their communities meet regulations? They can apply fertilizers and pesticides properly, keep car wash water out of the storm drain, not pour car fluids and household materials down the storm drain, and keep leaves and grass clippings and litter out of the drain. Homeowners can keep soil from running into the street and storm drains, maintain subdivision drainage ways, keep soils out of drainage ways and detention ponds, and reduce the amount of paved surfaces around their homes and businesses. You can let rainwater soak into the ground by disconnecting downspouts and sump pumps from directly flowing into the storm sewer. Adding rain gardens and rain barrels to manage roof runoff are ways to capture water and allow it to soak into the ground instead of running off. In addition, you can support educational programs at all levels and participate in special activities that help protect our water resources. For more information on the topic of stormwater and polluted runoff, you can contact your local county extension office, your public library, and visit the Department of Natural Resources website at dnr.wi.gov/topic/stormwater. Additional presentations on stormwater management and techniques will be developed through this series. Check the ECOS website for more details. This presentation is part of a video series containing ideas on how to live more sustainable at home and around your neighborhood. Visit